Dunks are fun, but what about all the high IQ plays? These are some of the best passes, reads, and play calls of the early 2022 season. Let's start in Atlanta with the genius of Trae Young. Now, Trae loves to throw lobs to his big man off of pick and roll, and specifically, he's fantastic at this coming downhill with his right hand, flowing from the dribble into the pass. So in a scouting report, you'll see a play like this one, where Young is pushing it into a drop defender, picks up his dribble, and now kind of skips into his little floater, and it looks like he's shooting, but he actually is flicking a lob pass up at the last second. So you can't blame Utah when they decided they were going to trap Young to get the ball out of his hands. And you see here, they give it up and ironically surrender a lob on the backside. But that doesn't stop them from trying it again. On the very next possession, they trap Trae in the backcourt. He lobs it up into the front court, and now they just try to prevent him from catching the ball, where you see his defender is denying the pass. And so the classic way out of this is the blind pig, where you flash a big man to the high post, Trae cuts back door, and now Utah's in the position they were trying to avoid, with Young coming downhill just like a pick and roll, fakes the behind the back pass, and wait for it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the old lob pass off the backboard. And Trae has done this before. This is back in his rookie year in Summer League, and he throws it to John Collins here. And what I love about this play against the Jazz is it's not just mustard on the hot dog, it's functional. Watch Whiteside, he's moving toward his man, playing a lob, but when Young moves it toward the backboard, it's so counterintuitive to think that it's a pass that it freezes Whiteside and makes it just a little bit easier for this brilliant pass to get home. Euro steps are usually about changing directions, whether it's Giannis's high-speed gallops to the hoop or a Donovan Mitchell shuffle in the middle of traffic. But this one from DeMar DeRozan on a game-clinching bucket in New York caught my eye because he fake jumps on his step and finishes on the other side. Watch it again, it's subtle, but DeMar is using the entire ball, his body, and that really hard step to make it look like he's jumping, and poor Derrick Rose took a plane to nowhere. In Washington, Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen were killing the Wizards with pick and roll action. You can see this is all in the first quarter, where on multiple possessions, they ran pick and roll and ended up with an Allen layup. So after a timeout, Coach JB Bickerstaff anticipated an adjustment from the Wizards and drew up this craziness where Allen comes to set a screen and instead slips it, and he fakes his roll to the basket to set a second screen for a shooter out of the corner, and that was the real play the entire time, and Lauri Markkanen cashes in for three. What's funny is that Allen might have had another clear roll to the basket, but I love this kind of creativity coming out of a timeout, and it ended up with a wide open look. Toronto's rookie Scottie Barnes only needs 3 dribbles to take it coast to coast for a dunk, and Barnes is a crafty, high IQ player who often finds little soft spots in the defense like this. But my favorite move I've seen from him was the fake call for the ball when the other team grabbed a rebound. He's trying to trick Isaiah Stewart into passing it to him, and it didn't work, but he did give it the old YMCA try. Speaking of clever rookies, this one was even more subtle. Here's Josh Giddey coming into the paint on a drive, and watch James Harden. He's pinched in off the corner. So when Giddey passes it up, he goes and gets the rebound and just tip passes it back into that corner instead of grabbing it. This is next level awareness from a young teenage player. The king of next level awareness is Nikola Jokic, and here's a great play design to take advantage of that. Austin Rivers is cutting into the corner, and it looks like there's going to be a screen here to set him up for a shot, and that occupies Miami's defenders and pulls them out of the paint. Meanwhile, Aaron Gordon can set a ball screen, and the second he gets inside position on Bam Adebayo, Jokic lobs it towards the front of the rim perfectly, no one's there, and you end up with free throws. Tip of the cap to Coach Mike Malone, because that is an incredibly difficult play to defend against someone like Jokic. Great ball movement always beats great defense, and here's a prime example. The Heat come down and are setting up Duncan Robinson off this screen, so when Ja Morant overplays, he wisely backdoors, and the pass is there, but Butler misses it, so they just reset. Duncan chases after the ball, and when he comes off the screen, now things are going to go wild. Robinson gets by Morant, Butler makes the pass, he gets into the lane, kicks it to the corner, and with the defense in rotation, the ball starts ping-ponging around, and actually Jimmy Butler was there open for a second. Hero misses him, but that's okay because he's waiting to get it back the whole time, and why go for a layup when you can get a three? Amazing ball movement possession from the Heat. They did miss Butler diving into the paint at one point, but on this Golden State play, we actually get to see it happen. So it's a similar thing with the shooter Curry being chased around by the defense. That sends San Antonio into a bunch of rotations, and the ball starts ping-ponging around the perimeter. And right here, Damian Lee opts to skip over Gary Payton because Steph Curry's wide open. So Payton cuts to the basket, and Curry sees him this time. Maybe could have delivered it earlier, but when he gets it home, it's a touch pass from GP2, and there's your layup. And Payton does little stuff like this all the time, and a possession with one really good pass is difficult to defend, but that second extra pass usually makes it impossible. Obviously, Steph Curry could fill up a bunch of top plays. I love this one against Memphis, where he fakes his cut to the basket to retreat to the three-point line, brings his defender into his trap, and then cuts him backdoor anyway with a ridiculous double move. But I think the craftiest Curry play of this month came in Charlotte. I've talked about him using opponents as a screener without the ball before, but on this play against the Hornets, Steph just comes down and literally puts LaMelo Ball into a pick and roll with Mason Plumlee, his own teammate, and in what is essentially a 3-on-5 to start the play, Curry gets two of his own guys to run into each other and gets to the basket for free throws. That's just ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as hitting a one-legged running three-pointer, which of course he did earlier this month against Memphis as well. Although I was less impressed with that one personally, because I want Curry to get back to me after he hits not one-legged running three-pointer in a game, but two with the second one coming at the buzzer, which is what Larry Bird pulled off to defeat Washington back in 1987. Let's finish with two more clutch plays. First, in Cleveland, there was this wild sequence at the end of the Celtics-Cavs game where Cleveland got multiple chances to go ahead in the final minute. You see Darius Garland here dancing into a three that he can make, and the Cavs get yet another opportunity, and on the restart, all these players are switched up. So you see Marcus Smart pointing at who to guard, and the smaller Dennis Schroeder ends up on Evan Mobley. Now Rubio sees this, points to Mobley and says, "You have a mismatch." Mobley comes to set a screen, and Rubio says, no, that'll let them switch again. Meanwhile, Marcus Smart, who's great at recognizing this kind of stuff, wants to switch onto Mobley because he's much stronger than Schroeder. Rubio spots this out of the corner of his eye and without looking throws a perfect no-look lob to put the Cavs ahead by two, a spectacular clutch pass by Rubio. Finally, another clutch play with the game tied at 125 in Milwaukee. The Bucks had a side out of bounds, and if we go back a few years ago when Milwaukee was in Utah, they were on the receiving end of a similar situation with Bojan Bogdanovic slipping off to the corner on this play because Chris Middleton was overplaying the pass. The Jazz win at the buzzer. Fast forward to this month in Wisconsin, and the Bucks set up basically the exact same play with Pat Connaughton curling off of Drew Holiday. Grayson Allen goes to the corner, and a fifth player who is Giannis Antetokounmpo in the backcourt. And the brilliance of this play design is it gets Giannis moving downhill without the ball and cleverly vacates the middle of the floor. Look at how open the paint is, with all of the Bucks ending up outside the three-point line. Giannis has a head of steam. It's one power dribble back to that Euro hop and a fantastic right-handed finish to put the Bucks ahead 127-125. The Hornets, by the way, had no timeouts left, so all Miles Bridges had to do was drop one in from 50, and he almost did it, but it was spat out at the last second, and the Bucks held on to win. Let me know in the comments below which of these was your favorite play and why. Also, let me know if you like this format, and if you want to support this channel, head on over to patreon.com/thinkingbasketball. There's additional content. We also have a community, proprietary stats that update daily, and more. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks as always for watching all the way to the end. And as always, I hope you're having a great day.